All right. Good morning, YouTube. I'm going to take the time to talk to you guys just kind of casually, um, sort of a fireside chat. I've been testing the new YouTube APIs, uh, going through some of the preliminary documentations. And if you saw last night with the stream that was kind of bust, we're trying a different recording format right now. Um, I just kind of wanted to have a casual fireside chat with you guys and experiment with this new kind of kind of therapeutic direct communication and hopefully give you guys some insights. Um, and by guys, I mean girls. One thing that I found in my 30 years of living and being this corner case that's just scorned, isolated from society, misunderstood, and misunderstanding myself is that um, I think the scenarios that I deal with apply to a lot of people, arguably everyone. You know, I created the Universal Mind Ministries Church, which we are an incorporated church and not-for-profit organization in the state of Mississippi. I've had that a while, and I've gone through some pretty radical phases, just personally. A lot of it is behind the scenes; it's not publicized, and a lot of it has scared me to death. You know, it's put my mind in places that most people they don't make it back from. So I want to talk to you today about mental toughness. I want to talk to you about intestinal fortitude. I want to talk to you about personal courage. And I also want to talk to you about the V word. A lot of people don't like using it, valor. Now, don't get me wrong. I know to a lot of you young cats, older cats, people who are listening to this shit. What does that make a fuck to do? You know, it's rip and rob, you know, loot the booty, kick the door in, snatch the bag. And what I want, my legacy to you people, you cocksuckers, miserable motherfuckers that are out there right now in the civilian world, is get you squared away, get you sanitary, get you squared away, and prepared to transition from the civilian life into military life. And I'm going to do that because I wanted to join the military. I tried 3 times. I couldn't get in. I was drugged a lot as a kid. I've done a lot of drugs my whole life. You know, I got mental problems, a lot of issues. And, I just broke 30. The military don't want bums. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now. The military doesn't want bums. If you think you're a bum, you need to stop right now and, put a gun in your mouth. Because there's just not a lot you're going to be able to do for society. I'm a bum. I mean, it's a term of endearment. B is for bum. Always remember that. A's and B's, it's on there, Langoliers. B is for bum. B for you young kids that are fucking up the first time means better. Do better. A is for average. Stick that in your pipe, motherfuckers. A is for average. Alright? These cocksuckers coming out of Wharton, coming out of Stanford, coming out of MIT, coming out of these Ivy scales, Ivy schools you never heard of. These, for rich punks, rich daddies. Uh, you know, these guys are hitting well above. So what we have here is an imbalance. I think we've got some new leadership. We're only into the first, going into the second year of possibly an 8-year binge. And I think that we can really kick ass and get a lot of shit done in a short amount of time. And that's what it's going to take. And you say, well, Tyler, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, or hell, I'm 60, 70, I'm an old coot with a lot of money. And, I just don't believe in myself. I can't do this. And my response is, boo, that's bullshit. You got to get the right neurological keys in your mind. I learned the process of wisdom keys from one of my mentors, my pastor, Dr. Mike Murdoch. A lot of people don't like, or they frown at televangelist preachers and all that shit. And it's Sunday, by the way. Happy Sunday to the Christians, Muslims, Jews, whatever your religion is, if you obey the day or any holy day. But for the Christians here in America, a lot of those TV evangelists and the Bible, the Christian, it's been abused, it's been perverted, and it's been abused pretty terribly to where, it's a war tactic. You undermine through periods of attrition. You degrade the spiritual integrity of a nation. You degrade the intellectual, components of a nation, and you destroy the physical strength. So you got your sugar, your high fructose corn syrup, your bullshit, your sugar babies, your crack babies, your meth babies, your diaper baby, your garbage babies, your burners. That's your burner pile. I mean, I'm just being real with you. This is my opinion now. Don't take it to the bank. And then you got your romper rapes, which they're flying all around the world. I mean, they burn up your salary, your yearly salary in jet fuel on the first 30 minutes of climb. They don't give a rat's ass about you. Your third kind is your spiritually deficient, which are just basically, they don't have any morals, they don't have any tooth, they don't have any class. That's kind of where I was. I've suffered from all three. Malnourishment of the mind and the soul, I call it. A lot of these recruiters and these military people and government agencies are going to be looking at the whole person concept. All right, what is the whole person concept? When I was wanting to join the Air Force, believe it or not, the PT makes up for all of it. PT is like the big thing. You don't want to be breaking in half on these guys. A lot of these motherfuckers have been drinking that fluoride, that shit. Their bones, their teeth, and their bones are rotten from inside out. They throw a rucksack on, they run them through, and they snap in half. They got to pay $80,000 to fix some loser who can't complete the fucking obstacle. And they wonder why, white trash is white trash. Black trash is black trash. Yellow trash is yellow trash. B is for break. You don't want to break. Chevy like a rock. We make an investment. We want a return. And we need to know you're in it for the long haul. If you're not prepared to get your fucking shit together, then don't get mad if, I'm not saying there's nothing bad coming down the pike. I'm not saying nothing like that. I mean, just think about it. If you're not in the military ship, how could you be a better father? My kids, they fucking hate me. Some of them like me, some of them don't. And I found out, I'm getting kids. I learned this from Dan Pena, one of my mentors. I'm getting kids. I call them my kids. People that admire me because of my storm chasing work and some of the shit I do in the community. And I'd be a dead man if it wasn't for it. I've lived a miserable life. I'm old. I'm tired. I hurt. Fucking 30 grand in the hole. I can't get a job pissing on the sidewalk. But I have never lost faith in the fucking dream. I've been chasing these storms. Meteorology was something that always inspired me as a kid. And, I grew up in the era of before cell phones, before all this shit. And it's enabled me, my passion, to kind of be a specialist today. That's another military thing I want to talk to you guys about today. And ladies, I'm hoping to see women. We're not going to get into that on this talk, but the storm chasing shit, the passion. It's a Trumpism. If you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I feel like I lost that as a kid. That was something I missed out on. I think a lot of kids lose that. Work, homework. They're around fucked up parents. They live in a shithole. They aren't treated well. They look at the work as a chore. They want to relax. They want to smoke dope. They want to have sex. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with smoking dope or having sex. But don't tell your parents that. But I'm like I said in the 16 to 18 to the 21 range. But these military guys, that shit ain't going. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys are getting sugar bagged, and girls, they're slipping you mickeys. They gave me a lot of pills when I was ill, when I was a kid, because that's fucked up parenting. And these cocksuckers made millions of dollars off the backs of the taxpayers. And then they just shoo me out in the street and pocket all the loot and then cover up all the record statute limitations. And then when I go to enlist, they aren't taking guys with PTSD, with bipolar, with psychotic, with paranoid, schizophrenia, ADHD, ADD, whatever the fuck you name it. In my opinion, it's a bunch of fucking crooks trying to sell you shit you don't need. But when you're a kid, you don't have a fucking choice. And they con the fucking taxpayer, and it's actually in. If you guys want to talk about getting a security cleared position and getting into federal service, military intelligence and shit, you cannot join those programs if you've even had contact with those medicines. Thoracine, that bullshit fries your brain. Fucks you up. So, basically, people that are in the know, they're elite performers, they're trainers. And I'm not going to go as far to say as this is rigged, but I'd like to say, hey, it's all right. I love the kicking back as much as the next person, but I think in kicking back, I told a guy I went to volunteer at a food pantry. You don't learn to love work until you don't know how to work. So I think you guys and girls and people out there, you're getting a lot of burnout. You don't know what you're trying to do. You don't know what you're going to do. And like I said, if I can help steer you in the right direction, I will. And then we're approaching 15 minutes here. I'm going to try to wrap this up to 20 minutes because I don't know if there's going to be any frame drops or anything like that. The advice I'd give to my younger self is advice that probably applies somewhat to you younger cats today, but probably doesn't. You know, I try to stay hip to the scheme, but I want to tell you what, there's such a thing like an invisible door. They're real tricky with their sex laws, they're real tricky with their drug laws, and they're real tricky with that age gap. There's a lot of bullshit that is outdated, it's antiquated. I think it's hemming up a lot of people. The kids, the younger kids, some of the ones I've seen, you know, I know a young lady, about 7, 8 years old, you know, reminds me of the motherfucker on The Professional. I mean, you know, she's like a walking heart attack, man. She's awesome. She's focused. She's engaged. And I see a lot of these younger kids out there today with the smartphone, the technology, they're focused. They're engaged. But a lot of them, which I'm not, you know, we're not even going to go into that. A lot of them, they're taking off at a much faster pace. And they're growing up a lot faster. And in my opinion, they're not gonna have the luxury of the time to grow up in a whole big long life like my parents did, or 30 years old. You may think that's old. I mean, I'm just getting warmed up. But when you talking about these younger kids, y'all, in my opinion, unless some shit changes, are probably fixing to be heading into a world of shit. So I think that it would behoove you, just on the slick. It's not for everybody. Just like www.stormnavigator.biz, just like the storm chasing shit. I didn't have I had a thirst for action. I had a thirst for adventure, but I had a thirst for the weather. And it's for the bold. It's for the bold. And I think that I like heroes in comics. I like heroes in movies. It kind of gets drummed out of you as you get older. But I want you to look at the heroes that are out there, like the president, like the soldiers, like the cops and the firemen and the EMTs. Maybe like your mom and dad. And you, never forget you. A lot of the shit you're doing may seem rigmarole, run-of-the-mill bullshit, and that's fine. But if you buy my book, Facing the Storm, Unlimited Motivation, it's out there. I break it down in kind of a, I wouldn't call it more Aleister Crowley. I love, no disrespect to the wickedest man, but, kind of Aleister Crowley. I love, Anton LaVey. I wouldn't even go as far as that. It's kind of a cult. I wrote it in some of the darkest times of my life. It was a tear-stained book, some of that shit. It's got the 13 wisdom keys in the back, which are links to books and mentors, like Grant Cardone. I don't know what all I have on there, but there's a couple of them. Like I said, there's a whole list of books. Here's some mentors. Get you, some Tai Lopez, some Grant Cardone, some Dan Pena, some Robin Sharma, that's the Monk of Solace Ferrari. Dr. Dyer, R.I.P. to him. I knew him before he died. I never spoke to him, but I was around when he died. Jim Rohn, that's a dead man. And he's taught me more in his grave than, a lot of people have in my lifetime. Get you some Napoleon Hill and use Google and YouTube when you can. I know they may be screwing me right now, but the education is worth something. And you will see, I think, that you can move around your peers and you're going to get satisfaction of watching them suffer. Anyway.